Love for the Vice President, Rich Franklin, miesha Tate. And I would also like to welcome back the 11-time world champion, one of the best to ever do it, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, the Underground King, Alvarez, and Super Sage Northcutt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all you gotta do is raise your hand. We will bring the microphone to you. State your name and publication. May I have the first question, please?
Hey guys, DJ doesn't want any smoke. Mark money from MMAfighting.com. I guess for the three of you guys, Sage, Eddie, and DJ, how different is this experience, if any different than the UFC? How different is it being with one now? What does it feel like?
So we've all got to go to Singapore together, witness an event, meet the owners, meet the VPs of the company. Significantly different. The Asian fans in general, significantly different. It's a different mindset as far as outcomes of the fight. In Asia, it's more the carriage and the way a fighter fights is applauded versus the outcome of the fight itself. So that's a tad different, and that's always been a difference for as long as I can remember, since I've been fighting in Asia. And one thing that we have in one championship that we don't have in the UFC is that when you look at Rich Franklin, miesha Tate, Chatri, and the long list of people behind running this whole company, they're lifelong martial artists, so they have empathy for the fighters. They understand what it's like to be a fighter, and they can walk in our shoes. So they're the main things.
And I think the biggest thing, another big thing is that, one championship is not just focused on mixed martial arts itself. It has other avenues of martial arts like kickboxing, Muay Thai, submission wrestling. They've had a world title fight in boxing as well. And I think it brings more fans from different perspective of art forms. So you might have somebody who's watching Yosei and Clyde competing, and then they've never been exposed to mixed martial arts, and they might see me or Sage or Eddie compete, and then it might become gain a new fan. So that's a biggest thing I think is a difference for one championship compared to the North American audience. Oh, Sage.
Sorry. Oh, my bad. That's good. I think it's how the fighters are treated. So exactly what they were saying too, but getting treated with respect. How the fighters carry themselves. You don't see, at least I haven't seen any fighters in one championship ever talking smack or talking bad about each other, or if one of the fighters don't do good out there, the CEO of one championship or any of the people that work for one championship talk bad about the fighters because of performance. Because they know what it takes to get out there and how much energy it takes, and we're always trying to go out there and perform great. So I think that's a big thing, that everybody has respect for each other, and that's a major difference.
Next question.
All right, I'm Anthony with Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, and also with City Guide here in LA. We do events, and I wanted to know a little bit from Demetrious, what inspired you to take on shifting, not just switching your stance, but shifting forward and backwards, left and right, consistently with flow. What inspired you to do that?
What inspired me to do that, I broke my hand when I was an amateur. I broke my right hand, and one of my coaches said, you should learn how to do southpaw. And once I started to dive into the southpaw stance, it kind of opened my eyes that, traditionally you want to stand left foot forward, right hand back, orthodox, but then he was like, it's always good to open your mind and switch it back and forth between orthodox and southpaw. Then obviously mixing in Muay Thai as well. Muay Thai, there's not really a specific stance we need to stand or go to. It's basically you can be square because you can deliver the knees with your hips. And then when it comes to the wrestling, so basically it's a combination of just doing mixed martial arts, mixing all the art forms together, and that's been able to inspire me to shift back and forth.
Hi, DJ. Hi, here. Flew all the way from Guatemala just to see you.
You flew all the way from Guatemala to see me? Here we go, there's a big man. I'll take care of you, what you need, dog?
Thanks. I was just wondering, with all the
Can't get that.
with all the flyweights running danger in other organizations, like what's your stance on that, and what has one championship offering for the flyweights, you know, for the smaller guys, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I love you, man.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, you know what the North American organization does with the flyweight division. That's up to them. You know, I'm on their board. It's honestly not my concern, but like my perspective of it, I think honestly it's one of the most exciting divisions. You know, the flyweights, they never get tired. They're very versatile. They can strike. They can grapple. I mean, I forget his name. Pantoja, absolutely amazing athlete. Can grapple. Can do everything. And it's literally one of the most exciting divisions. I mean, if you know, company wants to get rid of that division and just give it away, and you know, another organization might grab it. You know, I think it's the other organization's success. It's a gain for them, not a loss. And I think for UFC it would be a loss for them. And your other question, what was your other question again?
I love you, man.
That's not a question. That's rhetorical because I'm like, I feel love like a little bit, but I love a wife more. So.
What are you expecting on one championship for the smaller guys?
Oh, I mean, over in Asia, the smaller guys have been there forever. I mean, you look back at the history of Japanese martial arts with Bushido and even Shuto. I mean, they've always been a great fan base over there for the smaller weight class. I think the smaller weight class gets more love than actually the heavier guys do. So obviously, one championship has amongst the best flyweights in the world on the roster, and I'll be competing against Yuya Wakamatsu, who's a Pancreas tournament flyweight champion. So it's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm go out there and mix it up those guys. Thank you.
Hey guys, over here. This is Aaron with MMA Maniacs. First question: how humbling is it as a fighter? Obviously, you guys have been able to travel the world, and going from one organization to the other. How humbling is it to know that your fans are following you, and then in the process probably have gained so many more fans that sort of the fighter has become larger than the organization in that aspect?
Good question.
Honestly, it's awesome. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see all you guys come out here for the open workouts. I mean, it's the first time one championship has done any footprints in the U.S. market. So thank you guys for coming out. And it's awesome to see the fans to follow us over to a different organization, because you never know what's going to happen, right? You never know if you have a true fan. They're like, oh, you fight in the UFC, I'm your fan, you the best, da 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 da. And then you move to a different organization, like, oh, you suck. That's why you leave, you suck. And that's not the case at all. So I'm appreciative of it, and I'm excited to see what happens.
The stage is always important for the fighters to have a large stage to fight on, but every true fan and every true fighter knows that it's about the fighters and the fights. That's it. Whether it's done in a ring, a cage, in an alley somewhere in LA, the fans want to see the fighters and the fights, and that's always been the most important and always will be.
Yeah, you know, I'm very appreciative. Yeah, the fans always want to see people that go out there and put on a great show for them, and that give it their all. So coming over to one championship, I know, I believe, if I'm saying it right, there's over 20 million average viewers in every card from 2018. So that's a huge number. So if you're looking at that, that's a lot of fans, and it's massive. So I'm looking forward to meeting all the new fans, and I'm so appreciative of them.
Yeah, one more question. Obviously, you know, DJ and Eddie, you guys were champions in UFC. Sage, I believe you were on your way there. Maybe if you guys can make a bold statement or a bold prediction, how long do you think it'll take you guys to reclaim that title in one championship?
I've never lost a tournament fight, and I don't plan on starting this year. So my idea and what I want to do this year is to stay competitive, beat these opponents in the tournament, and challenge for the world title, and win the last major title that I haven't got yet.
3 organizations, 3 titles.
As long as it takes. As long as it takes.
Mixture of both of what they say, as long as it takes. And also, I also want to compete in kickboxing and Muay Thai, so I can definitely see myself only being 22 right now, And a couple years down the line, I can see myself being a champion and the kickboxing, the Muay Thai, and mixed martial arts. So looking forward to it.
And last, it's more of a comment than a question, but miesha tate, it's just a pleasure. Right, everybody?
Hey, Mighty Mouse. I'm actually a very big fan of you, and I actually seen your fight actually at 227, actually against Henry Cejudo, and I will actually join the UFC and actually redeem that title off of Henry Cejudo. I'm just a very big fan. And
Thanks, man.
oh my, yeah, you just proved to me that small people could whoop ass. It just
Hey, my question's for Rich and Miesha. These three signings came really close together. Should we expect more going on with American fighters? Maybe Brazilian fighters, maybe Vitor Belfort? What do you guys think?
Hey.
Rich, that's more his department, but I know that One Championship is planning to expand globally. So I think, of course, we're looking to grow. I think Rich could probably expand on that more since that's actually his forte.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to announce. Hey, all in due time. All in due time. That's all I'm going to say. All in due time. But with that being said, we already have recruited internationally. Viviano Fernandez was one of our champions. He's on the card coming up in Tokyo against Kevin Blingon again. And so we have some talent already, North American talent as well. But I would expect some more major signings from this side of the world. That's going to grab your attention.
There's a big one. There's a big one coming up. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We got a big one coming up. Next question, please.
Colin Crandall, MMA Power Hour on Fight TV. Question for the active fighters, DJ, Eddie, and Sage. Are you guys going to relocate to Asia, or if not, how soon before fights do you think you're going to go out there?
I'm not going to relocate. I've been in Philadelphia my whole life. I love Philadelphia, and but I'll be going out. Me and DJ talked about this today. I'll be going out probably about between 10 and 12 days before the fight. We've all been to Singapore in the last 2 months, and I think that's safe for me to acclimate properly and be able to perform at a high level. About 10 days.
Yeah, I think about 10 to 8 days I'll be going out there. If it's a competition that's going to be taking place closer to Singapore or Thailand, that's all around that region in the same time zone, then I'll go out to Singapore a little bit earlier and train at Evolve Fight Gym. And so it just all depends where the location's going to be. But I'll do most of my training here in the States.
Yeah, same as what they said. But I could definitely see myself going out there and getting some training at Evolve with the Muay Thai guys, and that's in Singapore. So definitely.
Appreciate it a lot.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I am affiliated with E-Network, LakeGunflint.com, and as well as Emmy Morel Productions. This question is for Rich Franklin. Rich, I watched your career in the UFC and a big fan. I got a question. There's a big controversial fighter in the UFC right now, Colby Covington. Would he be...
He's a Kobe fan.
Would he be welcome in One Championship, assuming if Dana White releases him from his contract? There's a lot of uproar with his deal in the UFC right now. Would someone like Colby Covington be welcome in One Championship?
Never, bro. No. You guys, I don't know if you're familiar with the scene of Jesus and Barabbas and Pilate in the Bible, but I think the correct answer is Barabbas here,
No one got that joke.
Exactly, wash my hands of this.
Hey guys, Manny with KGLH Radio and the Sea Party Morning Show. This is for Mitch and Miesha. We love the workout. Welcome to LA, guys. But when are we going to see these guys in the ring here at either our Staples Center or at the Farm or somewhere in LA? We want to see this in action. We want to see it soon. When that coming up?
As of right now, we don't have any plans to actually host a live show in the U.S. I hear a lot of people clamoring about 2020 in the crowd here. And I'll just say this, I've been with the company for 5 years now, and 5 years ago, the thought of actually doing anything in the United States to me was like,
It's not going to happen, and this is kind of the tip of the iceberg, and I believe that we have some big things coming. I believe that 2019 is going to be a huge year for us. Our introduction, our foray into the United States, it's going to open up not just the hardcore fans, but a bit more of the mainstream fan base. And I believe that 2020 will be a big year for us to make some big moves, perhaps on this side of the planet. Those decisions, though. I'll be honest with you, those decisions are above my pay grade in the company. You know, so we'll see what happens. But I'm just making hopeful predictions.
This is Anthony Crespo, Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, and also City Guide. I just want to ask Eddie real quick. You ended the last fight beautifully that I remember with Gaethje being a grinder, and I'm wondering if we are looking for more finesse in your style coming, or are you going to keep grinding out and being the badass that you are?
Yeah.
Or and then Sage Northcutt, I was wondering what have you worked on to bring your traditional martial arts to a more, I guess, MMA style type of fighting?
So when I just so you guys know, whenever I go into a fight, I never envision the fight happening the way it does. I envision it with finesse and ease and everything that you're saying, but it never goes that way. It ends up being an absolute mess. It ends up being more like a street fight, and I've learned to embrace it and be happy with it, and I hope you guys have too.
The Underground King.
This one's for
Yeah. All right, cool. So, yeah, I've been working on the little things like the transitions, like striking takedowns, getting back up on the bottom, reversing the positions, stuff like that to make sure I'm dominant in each and every position. So, thinking about it, like about a year ago, I never really had a training camp until I moved down to Uriah Faber's gym at Team Alpha Mill. So, best gym around. That's where all my training's been at. So. I'm learning the best of the best stuff from Mr. Faber up there, and he's an awesome coach. Thanks.
This one's for Eddie and Miesha. Eddie and Miesha, as a fight fan, as a fight guy, watching you Bodog fight, watching you Strike Force is like college football to me. It really is. It's always been that in my life. And a little bit of fight history, July 7th and July 8th. Friday, you won the championship. Saturday, you won the championship. 2016. We all have highlights in our life, and I've been through a lot of stuff, good stuff, and you guys have too, and that is a highlight of my life, and you guys are here together, and I wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much. It's an honor for you guys both that night to go Diversity, and thank you so much. It really means a lot. That's a highlight in my life, by the way. Thank you so much. I betted on you. I was broke, and it made my night in Vegas. I got the ticket on me. I'll show you the ticket.
Thank you very much. We appreciate fans like you, absolutely. So thank you. I didn't even know that, so thank you.
Hi, Steve Angeles from ABS-CBN in the Philippines. The thing I noticed about the other promotions is they never really, not too many Asian fighters broke through to the major U.S. markets. What do you think one could do with this, conquest of North America? What do you think it could do for guys like Edward Falayan, Kevin Bellingham, and those other guys? And actually, I think Edward is the champion in Eddie's weight class. Is that something we could see soon?
Well, One Championship has the largest global platform right now, and I think that starting in Asia and capitalizing on that market is something that no one else has been successful in doing. So One Championship is off to a great start, and now they're coming stateside, and all you wonderful people are here to support and help us spread the word, and I'm very excited to continue to see the growth, and I'll hand it over to Rich because I know he can get more technical on everything.
You're with ABS-CBN, so you're familiar with all the Filipino fighters, particularly like a team like Team Lakay and the number of world champions that's come out of that camp. I think when you look at somebody like Edward Falayan, he's got the rematch coming up with Shinya Aoki on the Tokyo card. And when you look at the first match between those two, I would imagine before the match that Shinya was probably the favorite. I don't know. I would imagine that the masses would have thought that. The inside people probably knew differently. And Edward put on a great match there. He showed resilience on the ground, great athleticism. Like the Lakay guys, they're very unorthodox with their styles and stuff like that. And I think that a style like that's going to be very appealing to the U.S. audience. You consistently see these guys land spinning back kicks.
in the ring and stuff. So I think when the fans are exposed to these kind of styles, it's gonna grab the attention for sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got time for one final question.
Oh, no.
And I think we gotta go to Miss Karen Bryan over there to wrap this thing up. Best for last.
He's got a big crush on you.
Oh, no.
He was so excited to see you. He goes, I'm excited to see Karen.
Yeah, can you do me a favor, Karen, and just get a picture with Mitch before you do this?
Now I'm blushing. All right, this
I
is
would
embarrassing.
appreciate it as a personal favor.
I will, Rich. And Rich, I still have you to thank for my love of cornhole. I literally is due to you.
When I first told you,
Yes, you first told me.
The name of that game alone, the look you gave me.
I did.
But now you know what it is.
I do, and I'm really good at it.
The Midwest thing, but now it's kind of.
It's great. It's great. Thank you for that. But Miesha, I wanted to ask you because, I'm not exactly totally sure all the things that you're going to be doing, but I feel like obviously as an ambassador, you speak so well for women. And I'm curious if you are going to be out there trying to really help more girls get signed and what your focus is really going to be there in terms of if it is going to be directed more towards some of the female fighters.
Well, I hope so. That's going to be my goal. I think what's great, Chachi, the CEO and founder of One Championship and Evolve Gym, has really given me a large platform to really kind of pick and decide what I want to do because he knows I'm a passion first kind of person. He knows that in order for me to be successful and bring to One Championship the most that I can, that I need to be passionate about what I'm doing. So my vision absolutely is to embellish the women's martial arts, and Chachi's already on the same page with that. Rich was speaking to earlier that Angela Lee, she's a star over in Singapore. She's a champion, and she at one point, or maybe currently still is, I don't know, was the highest paid athlete, and he wanted to make a point that there is no segregation here. There's no difference. Like the opportunity for women is just as good, if not higher, than for the men. So I want to continue to support that. I want to continue to echo that and help recruit female talent throughout the world. And awesome. That's definitely a goal of mine.
Awesome, thank you. And for Sage and DJ and Eddie, if you guys can do things a little bit bigger here now, right? So the walkouts can be a little bit bigger. The things can be a little more over the top. So I'm curious what you guys, your sort of dream walkout in this scenario.
So what's really cool is they announce the fighters before the match, like they used to do in Old School Pride. And if anybody watched the Call of Greatness, if you watch the Call of Greatness, I was having a cup of coffee watching in the morning on my way to jiu-jitsu. I got nostalgic because I remember watching Pride back in the day. They were inside of a ring. There was 10 guys pushing the guys back in. And I got butterflies in my stomach because I remember watching that Grand Prix back in the day, some of my heroes, and it felt a lot like that. And you knew that organization was so great that the American organization had to buy it because they were afraid of it. And I think that's what we're dealing with again. I think we're dealing with something that's going to be top level, something great that's going to threaten the U.S. MMA market.
So, like Eddie, I watched the TNT special on the Call of Greatness, and my wife, she watched it. She goes, "So babe, all these these girls are coming out with sharks and doing their dance." And I was like, "Go on." She goes, "So, what are you gonna do when you're walking out?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I started blushing. She goes, "Oh, you're nervous, aren't you?" And I was like, "I'm just gonna walk down." She goes, "Are you kidding me?" So I don't know. I'm just gonna take it in a moment and see what comes to me.
Mask costume.
Man, I'm thinking of some great ideas. No, seriously. What do y'all have in mind? Y'all have any good ideas? That's pretty good. I'll think of something cool, for sure. It'll be a surprise. We're gonna tune in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our Q&A session. But what I would like to do is have everybody stand up a little bit. We're going to do a group photo with all the champions out here and executives. Let's get rid of these schools, make this picture a little bit tighter. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, you can watch every single One Championship event live on BR Live, the Bleacher Report app, and you can also catch those highlight specials on TNT now. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's light this place up. Flash is not only encouraged, but it is highly recommended. So let's light this place up, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.